Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Colonial Impact Wrestling, Episode 2 of Gutcheck. My name's the Colonist, and we are starting out tonight with the return of Magma from the Shadows team, facing one of our wild cards, one of two wild cards from the indie circuit, Carlito, who has graciously accepted the invitation to join this tournament. And if he wins and becomes a Gutcheck champion, I'm sure he'll be around every so often. Obviously, if he wins the championship, he's going to be there, but it's good to be back. I don't have a ton more to say. The last episode, I had a lot of Trump and I had to explain what I was doing a lot, and this is not as much the case in this scenario. But it is good to have Carlito here, and we thank him very much for being a part of this and being held in limbo, if you will, for about 4 months as we figured out what the hell we were doing as far as programming goes. And one has to wonder how the TNA talent felt during that same time. But here comes Magma.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. On the way to the ring, from parts unknown, the Ninja.
Now Magma, one of the few people, multiple ninjas we know. We've got Smoke and Noob Saibot and Ermac, and also Zephyr and Gutcheck, and of course Magma. And they all basically have the same entrance. Or at least these guys took to Smoke more than Noob Saibot as far as the entrances go. Which is interesting because I would have thought that Magma might be a little bit more on Noob Saibot's side. But then again, Magma, Lava, Smoke, Volcano, I guess it makes sense. But anyway, Magma in the ring, and I'm still trying to work on maybe getting some entrances for everybody instead of just a select group of people who I didn't really feel like not giving entrances to. Like, a lot of people are using Hardcore Hollies, which, it's not bad, but I'd rather save that for default, or unless their character really deserves it. Here comes Carlito.
And the opponent, from the Caribbean, weighing 230 pounds, Carlito.
Carlito, excited to be here. You can tell he's excited to be here. Blue tint and all. And I'm trying, and maybe it's just because I have a setting on this, but we'll see how the rest of the match looks. But anyway, good to see Carlito here, good to have him here. And Carlito, excited, very excited about this match. Says that he wants to really break out into something bigger than the Indies. And what's bigger than the Indies? CIW, of course. So Carlito, making his way to the ring. We are actually in Miami, Florida tonight. And I guess a lot of people in Miami are a big fan of Carlito. Second generation superstar, I believe, under Carlos Colon, a legend in this industry, and much respect to Carlos Colon, as well as the brothers, Primo and Epico, and however their names are. But it's nice to have everybody respect Carlito here in Miami, because I don't think he's that bad of a competitor. He's taken to my heart. He uses one of my finishers. Or he used to. I don't know whether he really does anymore, but it's good to have him here. Good to have him in CIW. There's a picture of Rob Van Dam for you. RVD, we actually asked RVD whether he wanted to come be a part of this, but he was actually under WWE contract at the time, so he didn't really get a chance to do that. But maybe in the future we'll have that sort of thing happen, but for now, we have to take it as it lies. And here we go, a one-on-one contest between Carlito and Magma. And referee Luke Goss assigned to this contest. And here we go. Now, the next episode of CIW Conquest, or next episode of CIW, we'll do that with CIW Conquest. We are going to introduce a new budgetary item known as, now brace yourselves, camera angles. I know, crazy, right? Unbelievably crazy. But we're going to make it happen. But we're going to do it for Conquest, not so much Gutcheck, because it's Gutcheck. But Carlito now, Irish whip after that vertical suplex in the corner. And now Magma leaving the ring. Magma part of Team Shadow. Carlito not affiliated with any of the teams. I guess you can make the argument that, and I don't know what he's convulsing for. He just got thrown into the ring. And I'm liking the do. I'm liking the hairdo. And Carlito, one punch to the face and then talking smack to Magma. And Magma not appreciating that whatsoever. Another Irish whip into the corner. And Magma now, we're going to have to... I'm interested to see what Magma is going to do here. Has already won one match. Actually, no, he was on the losing end of that tag match in the last episode, in the reboot episode. By the way, thank you very much for inviting us into your home for this second episode of Gutcheck, and this should be airing. I mean, I'm doing the recording for this a while back, probably like a week back, but I'm not entirely sure when I'm going to upload this episode. But we'll cross that bridge when we reach it. No need to get over the edge, if you will. And now a nice stretch there of not really sure what it's viciously attacking the neck. I don't know the actual terminology for it. But this time I actually have a drink, so I'm gonna take some water. And now that suplex that may or may not cause drinking. If so, take a drink. If not, don't. I mean, we might just make up new rules at this point, because, I mean, we're basically doing, oh, what a vicious thumb to the eye. Went for a backdrop, Carlito countered, and 2 punches to the back, and down goes Magma. A nice sequence there to counter by Magma. And now, multiple kicks. Holy cow, nicely executed. The educated feet of Magma coming into play there. This would be Shadow's first man to get into the second round of the tournament, should Magma succeed. If he doesn't succeed and Carlito makes it in, Shadow will be 0-2 when it comes to singles competitors, and tag team competitors for that matter. And a nice headlock there. Carlito did not tap out. But anyway, I might go back to I might just make new rules. I mean, we titled episode 1 a reboot, so we could actually just treat this as a reboot. That we're kind of like restarting, if you will. And I mean, we're going to keep the champions from before when we do Conquest, and I'm actually recording this before I've recorded the first episode of Conquest, just because I've got this memory card in, and I have to think about storylines a little bit more now that it's been so long since we've done a video. So, and now, vicious right hands raining down on Magma by Carlito, who is taking full advantage of close fist punches and the fact that Luke Goss literally does not do his job. Other than making a pinfall or counting people out, he is literally useless. And as the match continues, and a nice knee to the gut by Magma. Now Magma, turnabout fair play, gonna rain down some close fist punches on Carlito's skull. But you have to imagine that the hairdo, and the fro of Carlito is gonna soften the blow a little bit. But vicious on the assault is Magma. And who would have thought that a ninja, who would be part of like Mortal Kombat Mugen, if any of you know what that would be. That's where they do like the computer ones where they come up with like a jillion different people. And they're cool. Don't get me wrong, they're cool. Not Carlito cool, obviously, but I would like to see, with the one character in Mortal Kombat, the ninja, that I would like to see more than anybody else, is a guy that I think a lot of people have wanted to see, who've done these like Mortal Kombat other ninjas, and that's Tremor, who's like a guy who works with the earth. Because we've got like every other element, every other aspect, because Rain is like water and lightning, you've got Sub-Zero who's ice, you've got Scorpion who's fire, you've got, and you got Ermac who deals with souls, you got Smoke who's obviously like wind and smoke, you've got Noob Saibot who works with dark matter. You know, it's like there's a lot of opportunity to have that earth guy in there, and actually that's why I made Zephyr to be like a straight up wind guy. But I mean, you can't really see any of his powers because we don't allow powers in this. We don't even invite Kenny powers. We don't invite anybody in here who we don't want in here, but we do invite all of you because we do want all of you here. So once again, welcome to CIW, and a nice belly-to-belly suplex, nicely executed by Magma, who's been very methodical in his approach towards taking out the much more experienced Carlito. And what's Magma going for here? Magma going for a sharpshooter. Magma going for a sharpshooter. Is Carlito gonna tap out? And I'm not sure if that might have been Magma's finisher there, the Magma shooter. I'm not sure. Because unlike Conquest, I didn't write any of their finishers down. Or if they did, they're in the binder that's underneath the camera, so I can't go in and look. But anyway, kind of besides the point, Carlito now making a comeback, and a punch to the skull, a blatant punch to the skull that referee Luke Goss gonna just lecture Carlito about. I'm sure Carlito's really scared. Carlito going to the top rope and then jumping right back down, and a right hand, and down goes Magma. And Carlito in a good spot here. Nice drop kick. And Carlito's got a different approach, I guess. He's a lot of strikes and he's a lot of quick moves. And it leads to his advantage in a nice drop kick by Magma. These two have a nice chemistry together. And they've put together a very high-flying and exciting matchup, I would say at least. And both men feeling the pain and feeling the pressure of starting out the second episode of CIW. And now multiple kicks, insane amounts of kicks, those educated feet once again coming into play on Magma. And Magma, you have to guess, is probably really, really wanting to prove to Shadow just how much he wants to make his team succeed after being all in Team Magnitude's camp until he got drafted. But 4 months later, we saw Magma fight hard last week during the first episode, during the reboot. And we're seeing him fight hard here for not only a chance at the Gutcheck Championship, but also for the pride of his team and to prove to his team captain that he was worth the #1 draft pick. And what a way to say bust if he ends up losing this match. Now Carlito just driving 5 right hands into the skull. And this match has been primarily strikes and aerial maneuvers, such drop kicks and things along those lines. So we're gonna have to see where this turns. But we've seen Magma and another right hand, and down goes the #1 draft pick. But what we've seen a lot from these guys, at least seen a lot from Magma, we've seen a lot of grapples, a lot of technique that I was not expecting from Magma, and I'm impressed. I am impressed. And now a counter knife edge chop, and then that series of kicks again right to the skull. And I wonder if maybe that's his finisher, because he's done that quite a lot. And Carlito countering. Which one of these men is going to punch their way into the second round of the Gutcheck tournament? Will it be Carlito, the Carlito's Cabana host, who spits in the face of people who don't want to be cool? Or will it be Magma, the guy who plays with lava and is vying for a shot in Mortal Kombat, which I doubt he's going to get, but he does always have a spot in CIW. The cover, 1, 2, only 2. Carlito kicking out. This has been a great match to start out the night. And who's going to come up on top? These two evenly matched. Very evenly matched, I would say. Styles and their chemistry, very, very well done. And a DDT. Carlito feeling the pain of this opening matchup, but he is succeeding where many others have not in keeping alive in this match. And we're going to see some amazing matchups in CIW Gutcheck. If last week's main event and this opening match are any indication, we have seen some phenomenal wrestling going on here in CIW Gutcheck, and more to come. Every day, there is more to come. And a clothesline by Carlito after a vicious headlock. Carlito not going to deal with any of Magma's garbage. And Carlito needs to get a finisher in. Might be time for the backstabber, if he can get it in, or doing my quote-unquote finishing maneuver. Oh, and a low blow. Way to do your job, Lucas. Way to be paying attention. Both of these guys have taken a lot of punishment from each other. The crowd on their feet, very much appreciative of these two's efforts as they try and punch and kick and drop kick their way into the second round, one step closer to the ultimate prize, that is the CIW Gutcheck Championship. This message and this show, this is what it's all about, folks. Amazing wrestling, nice over-the-top suplex. And Magma still in this match, and Carlito, feeling the pain, lies sprawled on the mat and gets back to his feet. And which one of these two is going to make the difference? And it looks like it's going to end up being one big move is going to pretty much put this match away, but who's going to land it? Who's going to telegraph the other's move enough to make this happen? And counters, counter after counter. Neither of these men getting the advantage, and a step up enziguri might be that move that puts Carlito in the driver's seat, but not taking advantage, not capitalizing on his downed opponent is him. And now that set of kick, the Magma strikes, and down goes Carlito, And if Magma can go for a cover here, it might be over. The cover isn't done. Referee 1, 2, 3. Wow. And a great way to start off the second episode of CIW Gutcheck. Yes, you lost, my man. What a great match you had, but you ended up coming up short, and it's funny that he ends up being the one on the loading screen. So Magma will make his way in to the second round of the Gutcheck tournament, and if you're Shadow, you have to be proud of that performance and proud of the accomplishments that your #1 draft pick has made here tonight. And making a statement, but not to take anything away from Carlito. That was a great match by these two guys, and I applaud the two of them for what they've been able to accomplish here in this opening contest. And there's more to come, folks. We got another tag team match coming your way in the main event. And now, let's move on, because we're going to have another first round matchup coming at you. And it's live, and it's next. So stay tuned, everybody. And our second match is actually a part of the second portion of the bracket, and it is Ryan Wendell, good friend of mine, Ryan Wendell, going 1-1 against the other Mortal Kombat ninja, Zephyr. And this actually just ended up being coincidental, because I wasn't even supposed to have, Zephyr wasn't even supposed to come in today, but he gave me a phone call. He said, because he has T-Mobile and has terrible reception. So I said, yeah, come on in, and I was like, okay, let's just do it. So, and then Ryan, I just asked to come over, and he was like, yeah, dude, I got you. So we're going to have this match, and then we're going to have our tag team match a little bit later, which I'm excited for. That's going to end up being a good match. We're going to see the first man, I believe, from Trevolution, unless, I could be wrong. I could easily be wrong, because I don't have the list in front of me. But I believe Zephyr is, okay, I'm going to check on Facebook, because it's so convenient that I'm using a legitimate camcorder now, because now I can actually go on to my internet and actually do stuff that I, did not get to do before. And because I used to do this all the time on the laptop, which I did not get a chance to do, Colonial Impact Wrestling, that's where we are right now, CIW, here comes Ryan Wendell.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. On the way to the ring, from Montpelier, Vermont.
Okay.
From Vermont, Ryan.
All right. So, Team Shadow making more of an appearance. Ryan Wendell, a part of Team Shadow. So, Magma, who is fresh off a victory, Team Shadow has the momentum right now. And I forgot Ryan had that weird chest plate. And I'm not really sure why he still wears that. For those of you who are wondering what the number 22 is about, and no, this is not in reference to Sid Vicious at all. Ryan and I used to be equipment managers for a high school football team way back in the day, and Ryan's jersey was number 22 and mine was 83. So I put, and our colors were purple and white, but I like the black, it looks a little better.
And the opponent,
Here comes Zephyr.
from parts unknown, the Ninja.
Okay, so taking a look, this is actually a Shadow versus Joshua Campbell match. The match before this was a Team Shadow, was Shadow versus Carlito. So, this is Joshua Campbell going up against the Shadow. I believe that it was Jack Anderson who went up against the Shadow as far as the teams go in the first episode, in that tremendous match between Daryl McEwen and Default, a match that I would say is one of the best singles matches we've had here in CIW. Save for maybe the Mr. Clean comeback, but that was more of a handicap match in Massacre. Or say maybe the debut match. The debut match was also really good. Which, believe it or not, the debut match, as crappy a quality as it was, has almost 400 had 400 views. And I would like to think that we've gotten some subscribers from that, which I am very thankful for. By the way, once again, thank you very much for watching. And if you're watching on a TV, kudos to you. And while I don't expect that, I'm very happy if you are. Because technology nowadays, all it takes is an HDMI cable, and you're in. And actually, it doesn't even need an HDMI cable. There are a lot of other cables. Depends on what Mac versus PC really, which I have a Mac, but what ended up happening is I ended up wanting to live stream watching the Bucks play, which was dumb because the Bucks were terrible this year. And this is Tampa Bay Buccaneers, not the Milwaukee Bucks. But I ended up trying to live stream watch a game, which was dumb because it was first of all, it was a terrible game. And second of all, because I guess I clicked on something and it sent a conduit virus or whatever it was through the Mac. And my Bizzle is actually a whiz with computers, so he was able to fix it a little bit. And Zephyr gonna just launch 2 leg drops onto Ryan Wendell. Zephyr getting the advantage here in the early going. But as a result of that, my camera, what I used to use to record, it was just absolutely shot. I mean, what it ends up happening is it'll start a video, and about 20 seconds in, it'll just freeze up, and you'll hear the audio, but the visual will just stop completely. So you could hear me go off on a tangent about how the match would have looked if it worked correctly, but however, circumstances that be kind of forbid that from happening, so I had to find the alternative, and here we are. A nice low blow by Ryan. Way to do your job, Lucas. That should be a disqualification, but for some reason, it never is. And Ryan Wendell, and another low blow right in front of the referee. Nothing happened. Literally nothing happened again. But Ryan Wendell making his debut here in CIW Gutcheck, as is Zephyr. Neither of them were in the Winners Battle Royal, for those of you who saw that on the Facebook page. And now Ryan dragging Zephyr into the center of the ring. And now a Sentinel Crab, or Ticonderoga Crab, if you will. And will Zephyr tap out? Will we see our first submission of Gutcheck? The answer being no. And Ryan has been meaning to make a statement in CIW. And actually, I used to do this. I used to have this thing, and I guess I still kind of do. Well, back when I was initially starting to get fed up with wrestling nowadays, which is around 2003. Yeah. And which I still enjoyed 2003 WWE. And I enjoyed WWE all the way up until about 2010. And 2010 was really when I stopped at a nice over-the-arm suplex off the top rope. An incredibly athletic maneuver by Zephyr. Will Ryan Wendell be able to come back in this, or will Zephyr punch his way into the second round? But anyway, I had this organization that I made up called National Wrestling Entertainment. NWE, nice belly-to-belly suplex, called NWE. And I had Ryan and Daryl, who were both good friends of mine. They were both in it, and they ended up having some tremendous matches. And there's no video of this. It was just kind of a thing that I made up and just ended up did most of the paperwork for it for like 10 years. But it was a lot of fun. I actually just quit doing it this past year because me as a character retired. So then there was really no need for me to do it anymore because I'm like, well, I'm not in it. What do I care? And now a knee to the back and then leaving the ring is Zephyr. Not really understanding the logic behind that one. But anyway, Ryan and Daryl had some tremendous matches, both as a tag team and against each other. Beautiful spinning heel kick by Zephyr, who glides through the air as if he is in command of the winds. And if you remember what I said in the beginning match, then you would know the joke because he is. So, actually, I have a backstory behind Zephyr that I made about Mortal Kombat. Because for those, and this is kind of like for a specific audience, but for those of you who've seen Mortal Kombat, or who have played the Mortal Kombat games, and know of Fujin, who is all about the wind. And basically, as far as I'm aware of the story, there are some stories that say that Fujin was in charge of half of, like the Thunder God Raiden, and then Fujin, who was the Wind God, were the ones who were in control of Earthrealm. Well, basically, I made up a storyline where Fujin got very corrupt by the power that he possessed, and a springboard by Ryan, completely missing, went straight over Zephyr, and therefore, the Elder Gods said, alright, you're getting too arrogant. So he tried to overthrow the Elder Gods, which is dumb, because they're elder gods, and a nice drop toe hold by Ryan. And referees count up to 4, and so then they struck him down. But then Quan Chi, who's the commander of the Netherrealm, was like, you know what, I could benefit from this guy, seeing how he was pretty badass. So then he brings him back as a Mortal Kombat ninja in Zephyr. So Zephyr is actually a resurrected Fujin who works for the Netherrealm and has command of the winds. That was my story for Zephyr. And a nice elbow drop, again, gliding through the air. He's very graceful when he goes for his aerial attacks, I've noticed. And now just wrenching the leg of Ryan, making sure that Ryan cannot duplicate any of the high-risk maneuvers that Zephyr has been putting in thus far. And Zephyr, for the most part, has been taking command of this match. And Ryan just making some crucial mistakes, primarily in reference to the springboard, and just 4 vicious knees to the shoulders. Is Ryan Wendell, but a thumb to the eye is going to stop that momentum. But will Ryan be able to take advantage? And a backdrop, take a drink. I remember that one. We're not going to get rid of that rule. And for those of you who are actually drinking at home, good stuff. But, I mean, that's obviously up to you. I would prefer that you'd... Oh, holy crap! What a roundhouse kick! And that could do it, but not going to go for the pin. Instead, just going to kick him in the back. Literally kicking him while he's down. But I guess that is kind of the point. And now going for a... looks kind of like a Fushwaga armbar that turned into kind of a cross arm breaker. Not really sure what to call that maneuver, but it is very impressive. And Ryan not tapping out to that. But Ryan definitely in pain and not in a good place if he wants to make his way into the second round of this tournament. And 2 kicks. And both Mortal Kombat ninjas, or the faux Mortal Kombat ninjas, have had very educated feet, as evidenced by the spinning heel kick. Also beautifully executed, going up to the top again, and this time not going to take advantage of that scenario. And if Ryan needs to come back, he needs to exploit those legs, damage them as much as he can. If he wants Zephyr if he really wants to dissect Zephyr and make him vulnerable, he's got to go for the legs. He's got to attack the legs, get him down so he can't execute those maneuvers that he was doing so well all the way through to this match. And Ryan not taking advantage of Zephyr outside the ring. And now you can make the argument that he used the time to recover, but Ryan really needs to stay on his opponent here. Zephyr doing a great job of picking his spots and taking advantage when he needs to. But that is one example of him not doing so, when he Irish whipped him into the corner and then left the ring again. And Ryan now getting the runaround, and now a shot to the back, a right hand to the back of the head, and Ryan just standing there. And Ryan needs to make some moves happen here if he wants to make a comeback whatsoever. And a nice arm twist there, almost a wrist lock-like maneuver. And now a belly-to-belly suplex of his own. We saw that in both matches, and we saw that Zephyr used it earlier. And Zephyr now on the wrong side of dodge. Ryan's starting to build some momentum, but a tornado DDT will stop that in its tracks. Zephyr back in control. But Zephyr again not taking advantage. Zephyr needs to close this out. And now Zephyr going to the top rope. Is he going to go for a high risk elbow? Ryan counters. Ryan just swatting Zephyr down like a fly. And now a counter, but a drop kick by Ryan. And Ryan now starting to build some momentum. Both of these guys in a world of pain, exchanging moves left and right. Both of these opening matches, exciting and thrilling, and this is what I'm excited for in Gutcheck. These one-on-one matches that can make all the difference. Ryan now with a nice move there to get out of the way of Zephyr. And now Ryan taking advantage of his lulled opponent. But how lulled is he now that Zephyr's back in control? And Zephyr with a European uppercut. I didn't even know Zephyr had gone to Europe. I didn't even know he knew what Europe was. I thought he was Protector of Earthrealm. And oh, that axe kick, that whirlwind kick, as it will now be known. And Ryan getting right back up, though, thumb to the eye. And you gotta hand it to Ryan. He's using as many tactics as he can, whether they're clean or not. And that bottom out by Zephyr. Is this gonna do it? The cover 1 could be over here. 3! Yes, it is. But a good match by both of these guys, and an impressive showing by both Zephyr and Ryan Wendell. And if you're part of Team Shadow, and you're looking at Ryan Wendell, you have to say you can't be mad with that performance. And while he wasn't able to close the deal, he did put in a hell of a match. And a good win for Zephyr, so both Mortal Kombat faux ninjas have entered their way into the second round of this competition, which is probably got to make the Mortal Kombat scene pretty proud. And maybe this is opening doors for them. Maybe if they win, maybe if one of them wins this tournament, they'll get to be in a Mortal Kombat video game. But only time will tell. But you never know. These two can end up making it to the main roster. There's plenty of time in Gutcheck. There is plenty of time in Gutcheck to prove themselves. But a good match here by both guys. And Zephyr, the man who comes up on top. And with that said, it is now time for our main event of the evening. And our main event, and I am so looking forward to this match. Him and the Golden Mask, our debut of Trevolution. We have yet to see Trevolution go up against Eclipse, who we saw dominate Ace McAllister, and that guy. I'm excited to see this match. I'm excited to see the two big guys go at it. I'm excited to see that guy's debut, as well as the Golden Masks. And I guess now is as good a time as any to tell you that this main event of CIW Gutcheck has been brought to you by AB Productions. AB Productions, we are the future. That's not our slogan, but we're going to come up with something cool. Eventually we're going to come up with something like that. But we are the future. That is the truth. Whether it's a slogan or not, we are the future. And we are going to prove it, and we have got some great programming coming up. This is just the beginning. CIW is the launching point for AB Productions as far as on the web, on TV. AB Productions is where it's at, and this main event has been sponsored by AB Productions. As well as contributions from your local cable networks, which don't contribute anything, so it's basically just me. But AB Productions, that's the one you need to remember. And for those of you who want to, feel free to like the Facebook page, AB Productions, because they are bringing you CIW. And the endorsement, actually the sponsorship deal, is a good portion of why we have a better recording system now. We got sponsored, and so therefore we had to go through extra lengths to make sure that our programming was of greater quality than your average show or even your subpar show. And CIW is not so much about the B and C characters anymore. It is about giving you quality programming. And now after the first few matches of the night, I hope you can see that. Here comes him. Sorry, Jill.
On the way to the ring, from parts unknown, the Devil.
Here comes him, who was drafted first by Trevolution, who is quite a good friend of mine, by the way. Shout out to Trevor Nickel. What's up, bro? I'm going to talk to you directly right now. You and also Magnitude. I don't know how, because I don't have a car. I don't know when, because I don't have a car. But somehow, we are getting this joint commentary thing to happen. And admittedly, I have been quite behind on the Magnation. But eventually, I'm going to catch up. However, I wanted to say straight up, I am still willing to do that. I hope you guys are still willing to do that. I'm back in the Hamden area on January 20th, but here comes Golden Mask.
From Calgary, Alberta, Canada. From Canada, Hollywood.
So the Golden Mask making his debut. Golden Mask from Canada. The Golden Mask, a storied history in Canadian wrestling, was the original Golden Mask was Superfly Jimmy Snuka, and then it was passed down to yours truly, and now it's passed down to this man, who I am not going to divulge the name of whom wears the mask, but I'll tell you what, it's not anybody that you know. So maybe you can do some research on some people who are just part of Canadian wrestling, and maybe you will see who I'm referring to as the Golden Mask, which is a complete lie because I made him up. However, point being, it is nice to see the Golden Mask debut as one of the top guys, hopefully, but we'll see how he performs here in this tag match, and here comes that guy.
And the opponent from Mississippi, Tank.
The Tank, that guy, and that guy who has been, I mean, we don't really know. I don't really know how he's going to perform. I mean, we saw him, we're eventually going to have like a Gutcheck Royal Rumble of some sort. It's not going to happen just yet because we've got a lot to do. And I'm actually thinking about making that part of the pay-per-view, which I'm not sure when that's going to be. We're probably going to actually be the, it's not going to be Massacre. It's probably going to be the 1-year anniversary. Well, no, because we're going to do, what's going to happen is on January 2nd, Thursday, or Friday, rather, we're going to have, well, actually, you've probably already seen it, but if you haven't seen the anniversary show already, now remember, I'm taping these before the anniversary show, that's why I said that, but the anniversary show, here comes Eclipse,
From parts
and
unknown,
same stuff, same entrance,
the Vampire.
the dark something, the Dark Warrior of the Night, I believe is what I called him last week. But you've probably already seen the anniversary show. And so, happy anniversary, everybody. And I'm sure I've already said it before. It's nice knowing that, and actually the only person who would even know that this was an anniversary would be Joshua Campbell. Because, fun story, which I've probably already told, but when I was just starting out wanting to do CIW as a fan of the Mag Nation, I showed Joshua Campbell a whole slew of dark matches, and it was pretty much what got CIW off the ground. So then when I made its debut a year ago, I can't believe it's been a year. It's unbelievable that it's been a year plus, but that's of the actual initial start, but the actual launch is January 20th, I believe, which is when I'm going to be back at school. So we're going to have an even bigger anniversary show than we've already given you. We're going to have, it might not be a pay-per-view, it might just be some big booking, like some good matches. We might have a champion versus champion match, which I wouldn't be down for. I mean, tell me, from the Conquest group, tell me who you'd like to see in that. And basically if anyone, you have any requests for matches, and this includes anyone on the roster of SmackDown vs. Raw 07, so it doesn't even have to be in this particular setting. It doesn't have to be a CIW competitor. It could be Triple H if you wanted it to be. Like, you could make The Undertaker versus him if you wanted to. But sound off in the comments below. It doesn't have to be one-on-one. It could be any sort of type of match. You are allowed to present it and offer your suggestions, and we will probably put them in the show. So, it's going to be fun. We'll do like a Yugui type of thing. It's gonna be fun. Our anniversary show is going to be a lot of fun. I know that. And here we go. Golden Mask and him versus Eclipse, and that guy and Eclipse. Look at the power bomb and the power of Eclipse just manhandling him into 3 power bombs. Bam! Tornado DDT, float over Tornado DDT by the Golden Mask. I gotta say, I dig the Golden Mask's outfit. Like the snake skin, like legs and like the half sleeves, and then the gloves and the boots, like the yellow gloves and boots. I'm appreciative of his decor, because it's pretty solid. And the Golden Mask going outside for no reason. This is your main event. The winner of this is going to face the last tag team match, and also will join. And now I'm blanking on who won. Valiente and not Buzz, but what a shot! Almost a razor's edge to him outside of the ring. And Valiente and the Oli Cannoli, who advanced after last week. Whoever wins this will join that tag team, as well as the winner of the 3rd Tornado tag match. And we will have our triple threat hardcore tag team match to determine the first CIW Gutcheck tag team champions, and a sweeping DDT by Eclipse, who was absolutely dominant against Ace McAllister last week. And we saw a vicious side of Eclipse something who I don't think anyone was really surprised to see, but it definitely was a vaulting effort. Like, Ace McAllister barely got a shot in. And what a jumping drop kick onto Golden Mask into the corner. Him, who I thought was going to be a lot stronger, has ended up being physically dominated so far in this match, which is, I don't think, something anyone expected to hear. And now a sweep of the leg by the Golden Mask and a DDT, and so far, Trevolution's team standing tall against Eclipse and that guy. And now, with a nice sweep there. Now, what is Golden Mask doing at a beautiful acrobatic backdrop? Take 2 drinks for that. I'm going to, because my throat's kind of sore. And now the Golden Mask lifting up that guy. And an airplane spin. Going old school Gorilla Monsoon. And the Lunar Eclipse onto him. Could be over here if Eclipse goes for a cover, but Golden Mask running interference, if you will. Here comes a grunt attack. Take another drink. And Lucas still doing nothing about that, and I guess is just not going to do anything about that, but I mean, I guess it's not my place to say otherwise, but I don't know. But Eclipse exhausted after viciously attacking the genitalia of the Canadian-born Golden Mask. What a knee! Holy God! A knee to the skull, and that wasn't even a Harley Race type knee. That was just a straight up smash, a knee smash, and the Golden Mask flipped, legitimately flipped, and now throwing the head down of that guy. Nice double team maneuver by the 2 men who are part of Trevolution, looking to stop the dominant run thus far of Jack Anderson's team, although Default did not end up picking up the win. However, a great match by the 2. We've already mentioned that, and that was last week. Now, trading slaps is Eclipse and him. And now an Irish whip into the corner. And it looks like we might see a double team. Oh no, we're going to see a gutbuster by that guy. Which one of these teams will join our other two members? Team Magnitude. Whose team now just punches, endless punches, by both teams now. And the Golden Mask trying to stay in this. Golden Mask probably the lightest of these superstars. Although we prefer to call them wrestlers or talent. We're not WWE. We don't just call them talent. We're not sports entertainers. Because what you've seen on this show has been legitimate quality wrestling. And now, a rake to the eye by Eclipse. And Eclipse not afraid to play dirty, although he's powerful enough and he has the tools to not even need it, but apparently feels the desire and feels the need to play dirty, and I guess maybe that's just the mentality of the team. I mean, I don't know, because Default wasn't really like that, but now raking the head, squeezing it between the thighs of him, and Eclipse still in good shape here. Everyone's still doing fairly well, taking a lot of punishment. Everyone just kind of standing around now being like, oh hey, we're kind of in the middle of the match now, so let's just keep going. And now him, turnabout fair play, but only going for 2 power bombs instead of 1. It's interesting to think that him recovered fairly nicely from that razor's edge outside of the ring. And now a rope break, Golden Mask, and a bear hug. Is Eclipse going to tap out to a bear hug? Wouldn't that be an interesting turn of events after physically dominating Ace McAllister to tap out? Be the first man to tap out in CIW's Gutcheck. But it doesn't appear to be so. But a cover here by him or by the Golden Mask, either one. What's the Golden Mask going to do? Rolling Thunder. Nicely executed. And is that going to do it for Eclipse? It doesn't appear so. And Golden Mask leaving the ring, leaving him alone to fight both of these guys. And not really sure what the inspiration was behind that, but a big slap to the back. And down goes Eclipse. And if you're Team Jack Anderson right now, if you're the abusement park, you've got to be feeling a sense of frustration, at least, by the fact that these guys have been... You guys had control of the matchup, and now these two have made a comeback. And that guy showing his frustration with another groin attack, take another drink. The two big men back at it again. And what's going to happen here? And now him, another smart move. And you know what impresses me so much with Eclipse? Is Eclipse just jumps up and has such a high air, gets so much air on those drop kicks. And the fact that he's so big and yet he still has the agility of a cruiserweight. And you can't help but being impressed by that, and maybe that's just based on, I don't even know what he's made out of, so I wouldn't even know, to tell you the truth. And it looks like that leg stomp or leg attack that's going on. And now, him now catching his breath. And step up in Seguri. Look at this guy. This guy is a super heavyweight, and he's going around like he's Chavo Guerrero, for lack of a better person. And now, oh, a beautiful spinning DDT by the Golden Mask, and getting right back up, and turnabout fair play when it comes to that guy and him, and went for a spinning heel kick. Oh no! Looked like he was going for a spinning heel kick, ended up tripping him underneath, and this match can still go either way. What a great tag match to finish off a jam-packed episode, and now a Shining Wizard! A Shining Wizard by the Golden Mask. Not enough to put that guy away. And now Eclipse clubbing blows to him. Golden Mask with a counter. Him with a counter and a DDT. Down goes that guy. And Golden Mask just trying to get his bearings here. Whether you like him or you hate him, you got to admit these guys putting in everything. Double elbows almost in sync with each other. And uh-oh, Shining Wizard onto that guy. And it looks like this is going to be a plunge into the corner. From that guy to him, the cover on that guy. 1, 2, 3. And him doing a great job of keeping Eclipse in the corner. And excellent outing by all of these guys. And you have to be impressed with these guys and what they've been able to put forth. All 8 competitors that we've seen tonight. Tremendous job in what they've done and what they've accomplished. And see, these 2 episodes have given me such high hopes. Such insanely high hopes for the future of CIW's Gutcheck and for the future of CIW as a whole. And the winners in their debut, in Trevolution's debut in CIW Gutcheck, makes for an incredible set of matches. Trevolution coming out on top will meet Valiente and Violi Cannoli in the Tag Team Championship Tournament in that triple threat hardcore tag team match. Your Al Snow tweet of the day. 6 plus 3 is 9, but so does 5 plus 4 and 7 plus 2. The way you do things isn't the only way to do them. Respect other people's way of thinking. That was not nearly as funny as I was expecting it to be. But thank you for those words of inspiration, Al Snow. So with that said, my name's The Colonist. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next time.